It took a while to realize it, but I did. You can never add a day onto your life. But it doesn't mean you can't add life into your days. Just because you have a finite amount of time doesn't mean you can't enjoy what you have. Yeah, life sucks. Sure, it's miserable sometimes, but it's the only thing you got. You are the only thing you got. And you can't hate yourself into loving yourself. I've tried for so long to batter myself, to try to shape myself into something better. But I realized something. The whole time, I've been trying to change, to accommodate others. But it's about time you finally just be yourself. Because at a certain point you realize that all this ends. That it's not going to be around forever. That what you decide to do really doesn't matter in the long run. Sure, it feels so heavy right now. It feels like the whole world could just fall apart. It feels like you could just die. But you're here. Sometimes it kind of feels like each wall, the roof and the ceiling, the floor and the ceiling are all closing in on you. And when they finally shut, you're still here. Still here to experience, still here to be. You have to allow it to pass. I don't know what messed up things happened to you in your life. But know that the past is in your head. And the future is in your hands. And you can shape and create it into whatever you want it to be. Sure. Think of life as a 2-week vacation or just a vacation. When you first get to the room, you unpack. That's 1 to 20. 1 to 20, the ages. You always have you always know what's next, first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, college, go off and get a job. You know what's next, but as soon as you are released off the leash, you're allowed to do whatever you want. You're allowed to go whatever, do whatever, say whatever. You could end up in jail. You can go and hurt somebody if you wanted to. I'm not suggesting you should do that. But I'm saying that you have the chance to make this existence whatever you want it to be. But you sit around, you scroll on TikTok, you smoke, you drink, you smoke darts, whatever you do. You waste it away. But know this, well-spent time is time well spent. And you don't have to be working 24/7. You could play too. When you do play like you don't have a tomorrow. Because sometimes you might see something that puts a smile on your face, something that enlightens you. Because you need to realize that human beings, we do not react off of the information that is in our heads. We react off of emotion. We react off of how we feel. Sometimes it doesn't matter what you know. How you feel just takes over. It pushes you over the edge. Everybody has a dark side. Starve somebody. See what they do. See what they are capable of. You don't know what you are capable of. If you finally just step out of that box of life and realize that there is more to this, there needs to be. People will tell you you live again. Some people will tell you that this is it. Half the time, you just feel somewhere in between. Most of the time. Trying to figure out what it all means. But if you keep on squandering with yourself, squabbling with yourself, or whatever that word is, fighting back and forth with yourself, you're not going to get very far. You're going to find yourself in your car staring at your steering wheel, wondering where it all went wrong. Let's go get some lunch. Let's go fishing. Let's go to the beach. Let's do something interesting. We are alive. If that doesn't mean something, then I don't know what does. Because it doesn't matter that it all ends. Sure, it's all going to end. It's all going to pick your poison, per se. There is no such thing as happy endings, guys. The reason why movies, TV shows have happy endings is to just accommodate for the fact in real life there are none. Because you will die someday. This will all come to an end. One day in the future, you will have accumulated more yesterdays than you have tomorrows left. And that's a weird feeling, isn't it? Sit in that. Feel it. Feel the fact that you don't know when that change happens. Your limit is exactly whatever you want it to be, and you could sit there forever. It's not going to change what's outside. The waves are going to hit. The waves are going to crash. And eventually you'll figure out why. What it all means. You could actually make something out of yourself. Because your entire life, all you ever wanted to be was something. You tell me, I'm going to be something, I'm going to be something. Stop. You already are. You being you is enough. That is enough. Because one day you will realize that to be seen incompletely, with a few pieces of the puzzle missing, it's okay. You've been strong for so long. You forgot what it means to be a human being. You forgot what it means to feel, to do, to be. Because it was never about the motivation. It was never about the discipline. It was always about you doing what you wanted to do. And you have to let that hunger deep inside of you represent exactly who you are. Because the moment that you got enough confidence to actually get up on the stage, the crowd was gone. Realize that you can never add a day onto your life that you can make right now the best it could possibly be. Because you need to realize that the happiest people in this life don't have the best of everything. They make the best of everything. Because you got to realize in life, yes, not everyone is going to like you. But you will approach them anyway. You are not going to succeed in every single scenario. But you do it anyway. Because you realize it was never about obtaining. It was never about getting the stuff. It was about the journey of getting the stuff. Think about it. I don't know, I'll use college for an example. At the end, when you finally get that diploma, high school I'll use, because I guess I could actually speak from experience. When you finally get that diploma, you don't feel any different. Maybe you do, because free roam has been activated. But when I got it, I didn't feel any different. I didn't even throw my hat in the air. I just didn't feel like it. But you need to realize that it's not about what degree you're getting. It's about why you're getting the degree. What does it mean to you? How does it feel to you? Because that's what really matters, At the end of your life, at the end of your book, it doesn't matter if someone else brushes off the dust and finds your book. and reads it and thinks it was pretty cool. Did you think it was pretty cool? Did you enjoy your life? Did you do what you wanted to do? Did you say what you wanted to say? Did you add life to your days? You know, do not let the fact of tomorrow scare you. You know, sometimes I won't go to sleep at night just because I don't want to say to the universe that I'm ready for tomorrow. Because laying my head on that pillow, closing my eyes, drifting away, is basically me saying that I'm ready for tomorrow. And oh boy, am I never, ever, ever ready for tomorrow. So I stay up. You know? And you wake up and every day it just feels repetitive. You know, you need to chill. You think you need some kind of medicine. You know? Realize this. I don't care how old you think you are. Right now, this current moment in time is the oldest and the youngest you will ever be at the same time. Isn't that pretty surreal? And realize that today is a new day. Nobody has lived today before. What was impossible yesterday might be possible today. But if you don't get out of your car and figure it out, well, you'll have nothing. Because life can be one of two things: a daring, amazing adventure, or absolutely nothing at all. Rain. Perfect. Sometimes, no. I do believe that there are rainy days just so we can appreciate the sunny ones. So get out there and realize that you can never add a day onto your life, but it does not mean that you cannot add life into your days. So get out there and do what you can with what you have, and try your best to try your best, because that is the most any of us could do. And most importantly, stay positive. I'm gonna go get something to eat now. See you guys next time.